Okay, just example of one of the first things that I do when I'm going to load a template onto Lumabooth. Not really going to go into great detail about how I created this template. Basically, I download this off of template supply companies, and then of course you customize it on Photoshop. So let me just show you the basics of what I do. What you have to do to set up the templates for Lumabooth and also for DSLR booth. Here's the completed template, and over here you have your history or your layers. Right now I have text, overlay, photo spots, and background selected where you can see them, they're visible. Don't need photo spots, so now all we're left with is text and overlay and background. I have to make two different files. You're gonna have to make a PNG file for the overlay and the text, and then you have to make a background file. And the way you do that is you leave these visible and you turn off your background. And of course, see what here? Okay, I'm gonna turn the background on, and that puts it on. I'm gonna turn it off. So all you're left with is with the overlays, which is gonna go over your photos, and then of course your badges and my information there I put for my photo booth company. You're gonna come up here to File, Save As, and I'm gonna rename this Overlay. And then you're gonna select PNG. What I'm doing, I'm just loading it up to an SD card, which I have here. So Overlay, PNG, hit Save. You want to select Interlaced. Hit OK. Okay, that's done. Now you come back to your layers. You're gonna turn background back on, but now you're gonna turn off overlay and text. So all you're left with just the background. Select File, Save As, and rename this background JPEG, however you want to say it. Not 2000, but this one here, JPEG. Save. I always do maximum so you have a good quality. Hit OK. Now that should have saved to my SD card, which I have here, the overlay and the background. Okay. Okay, in this one here, I'm going to show you how to load the coordinates into the zip file. That way, when you load it onto DSLR booth or Lumabooth, it knows exactly where to put your photo spots. Fortunately, my file that I downloaded from the photo booth or photo template company online, they supply this template XML file, which is pretty much the coordinates file. There's a way to do it to where you can get actual DSLR booth to create one for you on either your Mac or PC program. I have my background and my overlay files here on my SD card, and then I'm going to grab this template XML file. I'm going to drag that over to my SD card. Right click, new zip archive. You want to say .zip. Okay, basically you're just going to drag your stuff into that zip file. There's my zip file. It has my overlay and background and XML file in there. Okay, in this video I'm going to be showing you how to create the XML file for Lumabooth using DSLR booth software, either on a Mac or PC. It's the same. I'm using a Mac. Go ahead and load your background and PNG files onto DSLR booth. You're going to go to New Template, the 3 pose, double strip vertical, because ours has 3 poses. Okay, so you're going to go to Image, select your image background, hit OK, and it places it there. So you have to actually put in the coordinates of where you want it. If you hit 0, enter for X and Y, 0, enter, it puts it in the top left hand corner. Then you can size it to what you have to do. The width is 1200. Sorry for the shakiness. And the height is 1800. And it'll set it for you. Is load your PNG file, the overlay. Click that, hit open. Do the same thing. Zero out the position X and Y. Put on that top left corner. 1200 width. 1800 length. There, that's position. Now, of course, DSLR Booth uses almost the same concept that Photoshop. It's in layers. So whatever is on top in the list is gonna be on top. So you're gonna wanna put your, just rename those overlay, and this other one is the background, just like that. Okay, so right now I have the background turned off, so I'm gonna turn that back on. And then the overlay, you can turn that off and on. Now overlay wants to be on top. The background, you want to select it and bring it down to the very bottom. I don't want to go. There it goes. There. See, now the photos will be on top of your background, but yet your overlay will be on top of your photos. This is where it comes the tedious work of fixing the photos into your squares. So you go to your layers, you're going to select photo 1, and if you turn it on and off you can see which one it is. So that's one on the left, photo 1, you turn that on and off. So let's turn off everything else. Okay. And you can move this to where you want it. There. And sometimes you want to turn off this keep aspect ratio because it might mess you up sometimes. Okay, like I said, this is the tedious part. Pretty much arrange the photos to fit inside the squares that you've done. I messed with it a little bit. I came up with these coordinates for the first one, which will help in beginning with the rest as long as you do that first one. So we know our sizes now: 515 width, 345 height. That's what I got, and it looks like it fits in there pretty good. So then you're just gonna continue with the rest. Okay, so I went through each and every photo, positioned them. Process I did was, of course, the first one, first number 1 up here, to figure out what your width and height is. And mine, of course, yours would be different. Mine was a finished width of 515 by 345, and basically all other 5 pictures will be the same size, 515 by 345. So you start with that, so you know what each and every photo size will be. I aligned this one here, photo number 1 on the top. I aligned it to the top and the side, and you can just drag it around and then fine-tune it with the coordinates over here. And of course my French coordinates were 51 from the side and 242. This is all in pixels, by the way, from the top. So you know that each and every photo will have an X coordinate of 51. So you'll first go and through your layers here, go to photo 1, photo 2, photo 3, change them all to the width and height. Actually go through all 6 of them, change your width and height, then put them all to position 51. Like I said, yours will be different. You're gonna have to find yours, but using this method. And then of course you do the same thing for the other side. Position that one, find your X coordinate, and then change them all, and you'll see them all slowly move over to where you want them. And then for as far as from the top down, you're going to go to go one by one, go to number 2, drag it down to where you want it, fine tune it with the Y coordinate. For my photo 2 came out to be 605, and then of course I go to photo 3 and it's 970. So now you know what the other 2 will be, 605 and 970 from the top. It's a process, but this is how you can do it. Instead of, if you know how to write code, XML code, then that's way better, but this is the process that I use. So then once you're done here, you got your background, got your overlay at the top, all your photos positioned, so you're good to go. You're going to do an export of this template, and you can always go over here and name it what you want to name it, put it where you want to put it. I'm going to put it on that flash drive, and you hit save. And what it's going to do is template exported successfully. Hit OK. You can close this out. Go to my SD card, and here you will see that it's created a zip file for me. 3 poses, double vertical. It'll have the background, the PNG file, overlay file, and the XML file. This is what you're going to import into Lumabooth. Now this is where it gets tricky. The method that you use to import it is going to depend on your preference. I do this on I use Mac. I can import it to my iPad with AirDrop. People like to use Dropbox, emails, and I'm sorry to say I can't give you a tutorial on how to do that because I'm not familiar with doing it that way. I don't have a Dropbox account. Okay, now we're on the iPad, and I'm going to show you here how to import the zip file to the Lumabooth app. Here I downloaded iZip. You can find this in the App Store. Free to download, and this is what I used. Okay, I'm getting that zip file ready to airdrop to my iPad. Here you're going to select airdrop, open with Lumabooth, and then when you go down to your start screen, and then you're going to click on print layout, your template should be uploaded to Lumabooth. So now you're set and you're ready to go for your next photo booth event.